What's up, good people? It's attorney THP, Terry Henderson Peden. One of the most important aspects of my job as an attorney, as a parole attorney specifically, this area of my practice, is to help the voters be able to see past simply what a person has been convicted of. Because many times when you go do an inmate search for somebody, you look up records and you see that they've been convicted for this crime or that crime, that can be very misleading, right? And it can be off-putting, right? The voter could be, oh, you got sentenced to this and you've only served X amount of time, I'm just going to deny you, right? And if you don't have representation, it could be a lot easier for your parole consideration to go in that direction. So we were able to help a young man last week make parole. He had been charged and convicted of aggravated robbery with a deadly weapon. And to be honest with you, he didn't commit no aggravated robbery with a deadly weapon. Now, I'm not saying this or that from the perspective of appealing the case or a wrongful conviction, but I'm saying, and I didn't represent him on the front end of the case in terms of whenever he was fighting it. But my job as a parole attorney is to get to know the facts of his case and actually what happened, opposed to just kind of going off of the same type of blind judgment that a voter would be making if I wasn't there, right? To know my client, know their case, the facts of the case, the trial process, and then be able to make sense of things to these voters and let them know, hey, this young man right here isn't a danger to the public and society. And honestly, he kind of got railroaded to a certain extent, right? So the young man went out to a club. It's him and his three cousins there, and one of the cousins' friends came with him. So the young man, they all get in the car, they're headed out, they're leaving from the club, and the victim, quote unquote victim in this case, sideswipes my client's car. I almost called him my homeboy. Sideswiped my homeboy's car, my client's car. And my client, who's a young man, he was like 19, 20 years old himself, just lost his father, and one of the few things his dad left him was the truck that they were riding in. So he goes, and at first he's just trying to be cordial, like, hey man, what's up, bro? You know what I'm saying? You sideswiped my car, like, let's swap insurance information. So then the victim dismisses him, laughs in his face, you know what I'm saying? He disrespects him. So my client goes back, and long story short, they end up getting into a fist fight. My client's cousin's homeboy, who my client don't even know, randomly pulls out a gun and starts chasing dude around the parking lot. My client like, hey, what's going on? My client and the other people he was with get in the truck and leave. But weeks later, they get caught because people recording stuff on the phone, people commenting under pictures and posts, and then bam, before you know it, my client's getting arrested and being threatened with decades worth of prison time for some shit that really, for some stuff, I can't cuss no more. For some stuff that he really didn't even have nothing to do with. So when we look at that on paper, really this is a fist fight. When my client was the victim of somebody bumping into, having a collision with his car, dismissing him, not providing insurance information, they get into a fist fight. Now he's being held accountable for someone he really don't even know. And buddy who pulled the gun was even like, hey, you want me to pop him? And again, I know all this stuff because I've taken the time to get to know my client's case. And that was very extremely relevant to the voter and them making a decision, instead of saying, oh, this young man was only sentenced to 5 years for aggravated robbery with a deadly weapon. He should really have to serve all the time, right? You think of a crime like that, in my mind, that's somebody pulling a gun and holding it to somebody's head and snatching a purse, or, you just think of something so much more severe than a fist fight and somebody pulling a gun, somebody else pulling a gun and chasing a person around the parking lot. Never fired a shot. The police report said my client punched the victim in the face as they had a fist fight, and my client tried to kick him and didn't even kick him, right? He missed when he tried to kick him. So it's like, how much time is that really worth? What is truly the nature of the offense, and what is truly a punishment that fits it? At this point, he's in prison. So it ain't no point in saying, well, he shouldn't have went to prison, because that's a mute argument to the parole board, and that's kind of off-putting. But it is relevant to show that how much danger does this young man pose to society after 3 years of being gone, and should he be given another chance? So if I could issue a word to the wise, watch the company that you keep. You know, watch who you hang around with, even if it's a loose associate, and the people that you bring around you, because they could very well be the reason of your downfall. And in the state of Texas, the law of parties, you know, you go to you and a couple homies get in the car, go to the gas station, and one of the people you in the car with decides to get out the car, go inside and pull a gun and rob somebody, then come jump back in the car with you. Y'all get pulled over 3 blocks later. All y'all gonna get charged with the same thing. So, and in this case, the dude who pulled the gun and escalated the whole situation and could have got somebody killed, he was the first one in there offering statements in the interrogation. So, man, if you can glean some type of wisdom from this, I hope that you do. I hope it's beneficial to you I hope it's beneficial to you and good for you. That's all I got, man. It's THP. Want to get free, call me. Peace.